Your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Yo. Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
It's Kristie J from the Chisholm Report. You're tuned in to Hot 702.5.
This is Kristen Gamer, and you are tuned into my mom, Kristie J.
Hi. Hey. What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
This is Hot 702.5.
Come talk shit and politic with Kristie J from the Chisholm Report every Saturday at 10 a.m. on hot7025fm.com.
Yeah, election time's coming. Who you gonna vote for? Yeah, if I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, yeah. Instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money so I can feed the poor. 'Cause I know some so poor. When it rains, that's when they shower, scream and fight the power. That's when the vulture devours. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, yeah. I know some soldiers that sleep but they can't dream. Wake up with screams, sounds of M16. So take this medal of honor for your bravery. I wish you the best, kid. You and your family. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, but the radio won't play this. They call it rebel music. How can you refuse it? Children of Moses, tell the children the truth. It's not all that bling that's diamond. Tell them the truth. Most of y'all wear cubic zirconium. Tell them the truth, yeah. Your soul is worth more than diamonds.
If I was president, all blacks, I have reparation, no segregation, feed the nation so there's no famine. Muslims, Jews, Christians, with all whole hands every week on the beach. Party by the sand, word up, take trips on Air Force One. Don't need to bring the homeless with no sneaks to Air Force One. Better schools in the hood, better teachers for the classes, making money, paying no tax. Find the best scientists, tell them come up with an answer. I want the cure for AIDS and cancer, but I gotta watch my back. Snipers on the hill with the steel, waiting to J.F.
I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, I feel the rain coming. Let me play my guitar for them right now.
Let's go.
Refugees. Yeah.
Good morning. This is Kristie J, and you are on with the Chisholm Report. And the headphones are stuck on my ponytail. Yes, it is. Okay. This is the Chisholm Report. I am Kristie J. I come in every Saturday at 10 a.m. to be able to talk shit in politics with you guys. My focus is to be your news person for politics, okay? If you say I'm not into politics, I don't like talking about government, it's boring to me or whatever, I'm here to not dumb it down for you, but to make it something that you can understand in an everyday life, how it applies to you, how those policies apply to your life and your family, and for us to be able to figure out how to make it work for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about my people. When I say my people, that doesn't have anything to do with your color. It has something to do with, are you a working class person? Are you a parent? Are you a single parent? Are you a mother? Are you a business owner? Are you a student? Are you not balling? Okay. Are you not a part of the 1%? Okay. And if you are not a part of the 1%, I'm talking to you. And I'm saying this to the 1%, okay? Because they have just as much money as the rest of us and they're not sharing, okay? So we want to be able to get a good understanding of what's happening. So when it's time for us to vote or nominate, which I advocate for, nomination, not just voting, not just waiting until they tell us what we're voting on or who we're voting for, but actually being proactive and picking who the hell we want in there. Okay, so they can't slip on us and say, oh, well, I'm just doing what I can because I still got to be elected next year. No, we won't elect you next year. No, we won't elect you next election if you don't do as we ask, because we are the ones that pay the bill. I always talk about government or organizations, events and stuff like that say that they're government funded. They are never government funded. That is your money. Okay? That is your money. Okay? I have broke best friends at home. Okay? That's called children. And I would say that they are exactly what I mean by government and the public. Okay? So the money actually comes from me, okay? And then the broke best friends, get to spend it how they want to because I have to take care of them, right? So if I decided that I wasn't going to give my broke best friends any additional money, they wouldn't be able to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and the Robux would stop and the V-Bucks would stop, okay? But then you would have a very unhappy broke best friend, children. Okay, so just know that the money comes from you, and you should, if you're not going to let somebody come in your house and come fuck your couch, okay, and stomp on your couch and step all over your couch, and that's your stuff, then this is the same thing with government. You do not allow them to come in your house and make these decisions without your consent. You make these decisions, okay? So I first want to say this. 9/11/2001, my mom woke me up and told me that the first plane had hit the towers in New York. She was so upset by this, and she was like, no, go ahead and get dressed for school and take yourself, go ahead and get ready or whatever. But I could see that it physically had her sick, okay? That day, later on that day, I got a phone call that my mom was being taken to Mountain View Hospital to be able to, because she was sick, okay? She was coherent for about a couple of days, and then on the 19th, which will be Tuesday this year, she passed away, okay? So it'll be 22 years on the 19th, on Tuesday, that I have not had my mother. And I miss her so. It never gets better. I miss her like the first day she left me. But I thank her for all the lessons and everything else that she did for me, because I have friends that say they have never had conversations with their mother and their mothers are still here in depth of how she taught me and how she came about being the best mother that I know. And I thank her. And I thank her for watching over me. And I just wanted to say that because she is missed. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into this. We have events coming up. We have Jet Foundation, and they do this every month. They do a monthly fair and food distribution every month at 1600 East Oakey Boulevard, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89119. Today, or if you need to call for additional information, you can call at 702-500-4155. They do food distribution, they do welfare services, dental resources, sexual health, employment, veterans, everything. So if you need something and you are not being able to get it, or you're in a bad place right now where you're not getting any additional money or income, do not be prideful and not go and make sure that your family is eating, or if you need help with your dental, or you need some mental help, or whatever the case may be. This will be a great place for you to go to be able to do that, okay? We also have the veterans communities, yoga for the warriors, okay? And before I go on, Jet does this, and for the rest of the year, I'm going to give you the dates for Jet Foundation for that fair and food. That is 9/16 today at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., 10/21, 11/18, and December the 9th, okay? If you, like I said, this is a great way for you to be able to get resources if you need it, okay? We have the veterans, North Las Vegas veteran community is sponsoring yoga for warriors at 4 p.m. September the 24th, and that will be at 3090 East Centennial Parkway, okay? Let's go ahead and get into the local news. If you guys have not heard, there's been a couple of times where the teachers have decided to get somebody else to do it. And this, I wanted to give some update on what's going on. So the Supreme Court in Nevada has denied the CCEA, which is the teachers union, to attempt to stay. They have been doing mass sick outs, meaning that they call in sick because they have a clause that says they are not allowed to strike, but the school board is basically saying this is still a strike, even if you guys are just calling out in mass. I mean, like everybody, including the janitor, like we ain't going. They are doing this, and the school board is fighting them on this, okay, and put somewhat of a restraining order on them about 2 weeks ago, okay. So I have a clip about that. Let's go ahead and go into the clip, and then we can discuss after.
Now to a story that we first brought you here at 4:30 regarding the back and forth between the school district and the union. The Nevada Supreme Court now denying the Clark County Education Association's stay appeal against a district court ruling that forbids mass sick-outs. Now, just earlier today, CCSD says 5 different schools received high sick calls, but all of them stayed open. We're actually looking at file video here of teachers being arrested during an unruly school board meeting. The ruling today, though, means a mass sick-out is still seen as an illegal strike by Nevada law. A broader ruling from the Supreme Court could come later.
All right, I need my shades. Okay, we're back. Okay, and yeah, so you guys pay attention. Make sure that you are actually making some additional efforts, just in case your school has a call out. It is not something that they are giving time for you to, prepare. So you're gonna need to do it now. and just make precautions that if you have to go to work, because teachers, let's talk about it on the other side. I get what you guys are doing and I stand with you. Get your money, boo. Okay. But in you trying to get your money, okay, let's talk about a couple of things, and then maybe I can get a teacher to come and sit down with me, or maybe the head of the board or the head of the union, this teacher union, come sit with me and talk to me and get me to understand. Okay. But while you are calling out, you are making all of those kids at that school, the 700 to 2,000 kids at that school, you're making their parents have to figure it out. Okay. And I know it's important for you to be able to send that message that, you guys need to be paid and everything else. Right. And I respect the fact that you sit in the classes with these children. You're teaching them. You are teaching our leaders of tomorrow and everything else. But it does put a damp on parents trying to understand what's going on when they are trying to still make rent, when they are still trying to pay their light bill, and now they have to call out negative occurrences and maybe lose their job because you are not showing up to work. Now, we're not saying that you are babysitters, because you're not, but we have already planned in our day that our children will be at school from 6 to 8 hours while we are at work. Okay, that's their job. That's our job. And for us to make sure that we can be able to, so you figure, can you tell us what we should be doing in having our kids sitting outside the schools and you saying that you're not coming in? Give us a suggestion on what to do so we can be able to stand with you, because it's hard when you standing there and they're saying, hey, we can't take your child, and you got to be at work in 15 minutes and you work 20 minutes away. Plus now you got a kid with you. This your last occurrence, and if you do not show up, you're going to lose your job. So how do I support you if in my life I'm dealing with that? Okay, so teachers, call in 702-551-5261. Give an understanding so we can understand. But then on the same note, okay, teachers, you guys get 3 months off, and we don't. You guys are getting like $50,000, and you're getting $50,000 for 9 months, not 12. And it's a lot of us out here that are not getting $50,000 and they working 12 months. Tell me how I'm supposed to relate to you when the job that I'm working is not giving me the benefits that you're getting already. Okay. Like I said, I want to stand with my teachers because I totally believe you deserve more money. I do not believe that and this is no shade to Cardi B and the rest of them, but I am saying your name because I want you to stand with these people to understand. I don't think you twerking and shaking your ass and telling people to suck dick and everything else is worth more than my fourth grade teacher down the street who was teaching my son how to be able to read, write, and do science. Okay, I just don't. And you're making millions and they're making pennies. So where do we meet in the middle? Okay, let me know where to go with this. All right. Also, if you guys have not heard, Las Vegas has been hit with several cyber attacks all the way down the strip. What should I say here? To the owners of the casinos, oh well, figure it out. You got the money, spend it. Okay, there's a lot of people that you done already scammed to sit at these machines and take their money. Okay, I'm not saying I'm with the cyber attack people, and I'm not saying that anybody should ever be attacked or taken advantage of. But you have taken advantage of a lot of people. Pay the money. Pay the money. Okay, so up and down the strip, we have been having Yeah, I know they paid it, but they paid it late, and that's why they're over there with no computers and no slot machines working at the MGM. That's why they paid it late, because they weren't going to pay it. But the point is, it's been so many people that have come here and put their mortgage into your machine, and you didn't give them nothing. There's been so many people to come out here and spend every dollar they got because you hyped this dream up that they could come here and make $1 million sitting at a machine or sitting at a table, and they've lost everything. I know plenty of people who have jumped off the airport, okay, because they came out here thinking that they were going to be able to make some money silly in your behalf. I'm not saying that that's their fault and that you should take advantage of people that are stupid, but If you gonna come here and put your money in these machines, and knowing that the probability of you not winning is 99%, okay, you are at fault also. But pay the money, so then y'all don't have to do that, okay? And if you were paying more into this city, I would probably stand with you, but you don't. You don't pay nothing. You pay minimum to little, and you don't pay state taxes here in Nevada. That's why you move most of your businesses here. And I really don't feel sorry for you. I do feel sorry for your workers, because that's who you're going to take the money from. You're going to cut those people instead of taking the money from the high execs or the rich people who own it. You're going to take it from the bottom feeders, the people that's cleaning the floor, and you're going to take their money. The people that's servicing the machines, you're going to take their money. The people that's in the restaurant, you're going to take their money. So I can't feel sorry for you. Pay the money. But I do have a video on this cyber attack and what's happening here in Las Vegas. If you are coming to Las Vegas, take heed. I do have some people that's coming later on this month, so take heed of these hotels that are being hit right now for cyber attack. Let's go ahead and go into the clip.
In Las Vegas, a massive data breach. Caesars confirms it was hit by hackers who got guests' private information. Meanwhile, another apparent cyber attack has MGM resorts reeling. Miguel Almaguer reports.
The cyber attack was confirmed today by Caesars, the casino giant now saying hackers breached their firewalls and hijacked critical data that includes social security and driver's license numbers for customers who signed up for their loyalty program. Our partners at CNBC reporting a criminal cyber group demanded a $30 million ransom last week before the casino paid roughly half of it.
Why is that data so important?
That data can be used by people that like to commit identity theft, to open new credit cards, to get driver's license, to get social security cards, to open a mortgage.
In an SEC filing, Caesars Entertainment says we have taken steps to ensure that the stolen data is deleted by the unauthorized actor, although we cannot guarantee this result. The confirmed cyber attack, the first of two, reported just days apart. Earlier this week, just down the Vegas Strip at MGM, slot machines suddenly went down. Guests waited for hours to check in, and ATMs were offline.
The FBI is now investigating what many experts already believe. Did the same cyber criminals who hacked Caesars also hack MGM? The question now, are they holding personal data from that casino for ransom?
With MGM saying today they are working diligently to resolve our cybersecurity issue, tonight it appears luck has run out for two major casinos. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Thanks for watching.
Right. So if you are staying at any of the MGM properties, you should be asking for a discount when you get here, okay? And you should be asking for vouchers and stuff like that if their machines are looking like that. Let me go ahead and give you some game, okay? The Caesar Entertainment. Now, I tell everybody when they come out here to sign up for all of the reward points, members, and everything else, because when you do that, it allows you to get certain free stuff from the hotels, and then you don't have to buy, like, souvenirs and stuff. But this some shit, okay? Like, if you did that and they were able to get into that, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who come here every day. Okay, can you imagine how much data they were able to steal? Okay, and you're not even thinking about it because you're out here to have a great time. And the whole time you're out here, they are gathering everything that you got. Okay, so be careful. I got some friends that's coming down here for a bachelorette party soon. Stay away from the strip, homies, okay? Go patronize some black businesses off of the strip and enjoy yourself where your information is safe, okay? All right. I'm going to go and skip into national news right now because I want to talk about world weather, okay? Mother Nature said, kiss my ass this month, okay? And she meant it, okay? All over the board, she is kicking y'all ass. She is letting you know that she is not a punk and that you are going to be scared, okay? It is too much stuff happening for this not to be important, okay? And I'm normally not a person that's running around talking about global warming and all the rest of that stuff. I've never been that person, but shit, today, okay, you have at least 5 major weather cycles happening in the news. That's not just what's happening around the world, just the major news. There is 5 major things killing people. Okay, and the first one I want to go into is basically talking about the flood in Libya. Excuse me. Over 20,000 people are dead because of the flood, and basically what happened was infrastructure. Here in the United States, we keep arguing about infrastructure and them basically not taking care of the dams and the bridges and stuff that they had there. It broke and killed 20,000 people plus. Please take heed to when they're talking about this in government and saying they want to put money towards infrastructure, because this is a possibility for any nation. Okay, I do have a clip about it. Let's go ahead and go into the clip, and then we'll discuss.
The wind really started cranking up at about 4:30 this morning, right as I arrived here at Corporation Beach in Dennis. We're on the bay side of the Cape.
Okay, y'all, my bad. I jumped on it and went straight to Libya. Let's talk about Libya, and then I'll talk about what's happening with Hurricane Lee. I'm sorry about that. Let's go ahead. Go to the clip.
Overseas now to the aftermath of this week's devastating floods in Libya. Officials fear up to 20,000 people could be dead in the city of Derna on the Mediterranean. Get more now from CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Even in the desperate search for survivors, a chaotic race to recover the dead. Waterborne diseases from the sheer number of bodies pose a deadly threat to those who survived Monday's catastrophic flooding, now struggling to survive its aftermath. A wall of water and mud several stories high swept away whole neighborhoods, a quarter of the coastal city of Derna. Downed buildings and destroyed cars show the force of the floodwaters unleashed after the collapse of 2 poorly maintained dams following torrential rains. It's not easy for a man to go through this, said Saad, who lost his home. No one helps you, not even the government. The devastation has been compounded by Libya's civil war, a country torn in two. The UN says countless lives would have been saved if a functioning alarm system and capable evacuation teams were in place, and better care of critical infrastructure like those failed dams.
We buried 25 people without knowing who they are or taking any samples, and the families of those people will never know what happened to their children, to their sons, to their daughters, to their wives.
And those who have already accepted the very worst.
Okay, so let me put some perspective to you. I don't know 20,000 people. My Facebook amount of friends is about 5,000-6,000. That'd be everybody on my friends list 2, 3, 4 times over. Can you imagine? That man said he buried 25 people without any record of who they are. So those people that's looking for them will never know who they are. Never know where they are. The devastation. And my engineer just reminded me, like, they probably didn't meet their quota for COVID deaths. And that Syria and Libya have already been fighting. Let's just go ahead and kill them. I don't know if that's true, but it is so sad, and I said my prayers. 20,000 plus people. That's more than most small towns. That's everybody. And this is happening. This happened a day or two after the Morocco earthquake. Okay, but I'm gonna shift and go into talking about Lee. Okay, and here in Lee just touched down at, I think they said 3 in the morning in Cape Cod. Shut up, Wes. It just touched down in Cape Cod this morning, and the wind and stuff is already bad. I do have a clip on Lee, and then I'm going to discuss and tell you what's going on with Lee. But Lee started in the Atlantic, and they said that Lee was not going to hit or affect any of the southern United States, or even just the eastern United States. That it was going to go and probably maybe pass through Maine. It was going to go. I wonder how Kirks and Caicos is handling this right now, and Bermuda, because this went right around them. Let's go ahead and go into the clip we'll discuss after.
Cranking up at about 4:30 this morning, right as I arrived here at Corporation Beach in Dennis. We're on the bay side of the Cape, so this is the side where the wind is coming right at us. It's piling the water up along the coast. Now, we are getting a little bit of a surge right now, but we're at low tide, so that's at least some good news. We shot some video on the way here. It's a close call for me on 6A. A branch came down right in front of me, and I think we're starting to see a few more of those sorts of things happening just based on the number of power outages that we've seen. We saw Yarmouth jump up over 2,000 outages here within the past 15, 20 minutes or so. Dennis itself running between 600 and 700 in the dark at present. And, you know, bent signs and some large waves, that sort of thing. That's kind of what we're seeing here at Corporation Beach. I'll take a look behind me there. There is Corporation Beach. You can see the sand there. Plenty of wave action as well. And these waves will just continue kind of building here as we come off of low tide right now and start to get toward high tide, which comes in about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Could be a 1 to 3 foot storm surge with this. Again, we're probably already seeing that. It's just because it's low tide right now. Will remain to be seen what high tide brings. Again, we'll keep an eye on that as we head toward midday. Live in Dennis at Corporation Beach, meteorologist AJ Burnett.
Okay, Mother Nature. We said okay. But no, she said she not done. Okay? She's not done. She said she's going to send it to you each and every time. Okay? Because she said if she let y'all shenan, y'all go shenan again. All right? So she is tired of y'all tearing this earth up. And she says she go show you something. So, just in Lee. Okay? Now, we have another hurricane that's supposed to be coming. And they said that they're just supposed to hit landfall at hurricane at a category 3. They said we got about 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 weeks or something like that, or less than 2 weeks, that we are supposed to this is supposed to impact us. It's supposed to cut right past Florida and go and basically tear the heel of Louisiana up and go right on into Texas. Now, are we prepared? Are we prepared with them saying this? This is hurricane season. Are you prepared? Do you have candles? Do you have batteries? Do you have fresh water? Do you have food? Is your freezer full? Do you have a barbecue grill? Do you know how to barbecue pancakes and eggs on the grill? I had to learn how to do that. Okay, do you have these things? Do you have a special kit? Do you know where to tell your kids that do not live in the house where you guys will meet, just in case they decide to evacuate? If there is no internet and there's no power, then you have no battery to your phone. How do you find your people? These are the things that you need to be preparing for, because this is the season for this coming. So in saying that, so now we had a flood that killed 20,000 people. We have Lee that is tearing the hell out of the East Coast up. And we have the earthquake in Lebanon that has killed over 3,000 people. I'm sorry, not in Lebanon, in Morocco. And I have an update. I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, but last week Morocco had an earthquake, and it devastated the city. They were able to show surveillance and everything else of what happened. Let's go ahead and go into the clip, and then we'll discuss later.
Race against time as rescue teams in Morocco scour the rubble in a furious search for survivors. The area's strongest earthquake in more than a century has killed nearly 3,000, with thousands more injured. But those numbers are expected to rise in the hours and days ahead. The destruction and devastation are beyond words, with at least 100,000 children impacted by the disaster, and that's according to UNICEF. The epicenter of the 6.8 quake is located in the country's high Atlas Mountains, where buildings crumbled and left communities cut off from the outside world. Villagers are digging by hand or shovels because getting heavy equipment into these remote areas has been nearly impossible. International aid groups, including specially trained dogs, have joined local rescue efforts. We have a lot of news to bring you, and CBS's Chris Livesay will start us off tonight from the village of Moulay Brahmin. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Nora. We're still in that crucial time known as the golden period, the best window for finding people who may still be alive, trapped beneath the rubble. But now, more than 72 hours since the quake, that window is closing. Day 3 of the rescue effort, with Moroccans clinging to the hope of finding survivors. But with every body removed from the rubble, hope is slipping through the blistered fingers they've been digging with. Across Morocco, footage captures the moment this North African country erupted into panic, and now into a race as they search for the living and grieve for the dead. In the town of Talat al-Kaoub, young Maoud al-Atnasser weeps over the death of his little brother, just 7 years old. I thank God for the beautiful memories I have of him, says his father, Brahim. They're all I have left of him. The heartache and destruction are worst here in the remote high Atlas, where twisting roads, steep cliffs, and rustic dwellings, the very things that make these mountains so jaw-dropping, made the earthquake and its aftermath so deadly. Many of these homes are made out of mud bricks, so they don't just collapse, they crumble, and they don't leave any air pockets for survivors who tend to just choke to death on the dust. And if there was anyone to save, locals tell us they had to save themselves.
They said 100,000 children affected, meaning that they either are without homes, the schools are gone, they are either injured or dead, or their parents are, and they are now orphans. This is a lot, and I don't know how people just go about their day. I don't. I have situations where I have 1 or 2 friends pass in a couple of months, and it affects me so much. But to know that these people are dealing with this and there's no additional help, there's no government coming in to help them, there's no one there to be able to help them fix it, feed them, make it right. It's a lot. And a lot of people walk around not knowing that this is happening, that this is something that can happen to us. That's what I need you to understand. This can happen to us. Like, we are not immune for this to happen. We can have this situation happen and it cripple our entire country. So please be mindful. Say a prayer for these people. And they are in my thoughts and prayers. And I think about it. I think about a child that's over there that's my son's age that is now trying to find their parents or doesn't have anything to eat or is trapped inside of a building that has collapsed and they have no way out and they have no way to be able to let anybody know that they're in there. They have a certain amount of time before the air runs out or it collapses or the injuries that they are suffering overcome them. And it does. It makes me very emotional. It makes me feel like get my priorities together and get my things in order just in case anything ever happens, okay? So that is my weather take for you guys. I wanted you guys to hear what's going on around this country, around this world with the weather, because it doesn't seem like it's getting any easier. We're still dealing with Maui having volcanoes that keep erupting and burning their entire island. Okay, we still have that. We still have forest burning in Canada. We still have Florida is still dealing with the flooding stuff that they had with their hurricanes and rebuilding of that. Houses being ripped off. California dealing with tropical storms and everything else that's coming that way. We have the Andreas fault there, and that worries me. So to kind of give you guys an understanding about the Earth, okay? The Earth has plates. It's like put together, okay? And when something happens on the side of the world, okay, let's talk about the flood or the earthquake. Let's talk about the earthquake in Morocco, okay? That shifts, okay? And when that shifts, that makes other things shift. So you can either get a volcano deciding that it's going to blow up, or a fault separating, or even in Antarctica or whatever, the ice started to break off. Things like that. All that stuff has something to do with each other, because at one point they believed that all the lands were one land, and that there was a big either meteor, earthquake, or whatever the case may be, hit the earth and spread it. But we are still connected under the ground and under the water. So don't think that this is something that can't happen to you. Don't think that this is not a ripple effect of something that's happening on the other side of the world, and that it cannot affect you in your household. Okay, it will, because if you don't know that the places that we're talking about are major distributors for certain things, gold, oil, okay, they're tourist places, things like that. These things affect travel. They affect gas, and then you have other things that happen, like you got the auto strike, you got all this additional stuff that happens. This is something that is connected that will make everything change. So I just wanted you guys to have a better understanding of what's happening with the weather, and I just hope you guys are paying attention. Okay, so So just yesterday, I was listening to them say that Trump got 4 more felony charges in D.C. and that he is scared of the judge that he has got. Now, I am not a person to laugh at people's pain, but ha, ha, ha. Okay? For a man who sits and dogs black women so hard, the judge that he got is one of the toughest judges that they have, that has proceeded over the January 6th. What do you call those people? Treasonous, who went in there and decided they were going to go to the Capitol and be ghetto. And that's who he has on his case. Okay. Now, I believe that they're going to fight this and say, oh, she's going to be biased. Oh, she's too hard on him. She already has a vendetta. He's already met her before. Okay. I just want to also add that this judge, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything until after the video. I just want you guys to take a look at the judge who is going to be ruling over Donald Trump's indictments and felony charges in D.C. Let's go ahead and go into the clip.
Tanya Chutkin has a reputation for being tough. As a judge for the District Court of Washington, D.C., she sentenced at least 36 people involved in the Capitol insurrection. We need to hold the doors of the Capitol. All of them got prison time, and many of them received tougher sentences than prosecutors initially asked for. That includes this man, Mark Ponder, who was caught on camera hitting former U.S. Capitol Sergeant Akelina Gunal with a pole during the insurrection. Judge Chutkin sentenced Ponder to 5 years in prison, matching the longest January 6th sentence. During Ponder's sentencing, Judge Chutkin recalled seeing footage of the January 6th attack and said, quote, I cannot imagine what Sergeant Gunal and his fellow officers were feeling as they were attacked repeatedly by a mob that was hell-bent to kill them to get to where they wanted to go. And quote, I continue to be shocked by what I saw. Former President Barack Obama appointed Judge Chutkan to the court in 2014. Now, she'll oversee the criminal case of a former commander-in-chief who's accused of inciting the insurrection.
These are ridiculous indictments, and all they're doing is hoping for massive election interference. That's all they want to do.
This case will not be Judge Chutkan's first brush with former President Donald Trump. In November of 2021, she ruled against his attempt to stop the January 6th committee from accessing hundreds of pages of records from the Trump White House. That ruling may provide insight into how Judge Chutkan will approach former President Trump's new case, with her writing, quote, "Presidents are not kings, and plaintiff is not president."
If you want to fuck around and find out, it was a person, okay? So she is a Jamaican classical dancer, okay, that came here and decided that she was going to let it be rain. Thank you, Miss Tawana. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And I am going to be watching this to see you shine, ma'am. This whole entire proceeding, okay? And I love your natural, okay? I love all that, and I just want to say, you go keep playing, and they go show you. So that's what happens when you decide that you go keep messing with people and keep talking down to people, and then find out who is going to be over your demise. So Trump, get your shit together, because I don't think she's going to play with you none. All right, you going to jail. You super going to jail, okay? I am not a person that wants people to go to jail. But he caused so many other people to go to jail. There's people sitting in jail right now off of the thought of him telling them stuff. And for him to be able to go in there and not have handcuffs put on him, for him to go in there and them say that he's not going to be charged and somebody can pardon him, and all those additional people who were there under his belief of him lying and saying that he won this election and they stole it, are now sitting in prison away from their families, away from their careers, away from their lives because of this lying ass man. Okay? And I think that he should go to jail for each and every one of them. I think that each and every person that went to jail should be suing him for this. Okay? Because this was his thought process. Now, if you was dumb enough to think about it and say, yeah, you're right, I'm going to go do this for Trump, and you ain't never met him and he don't care nothing about you, and you did this, then I think that you're in the wrong and you deserve to go to jail. But I also think that he put that thought in your mind and ran with it, and that's not fair. Okay, so Trump, I still think that they're going to pardon him. I think that whatever president or if Joe Biden decides he's going to pardon him, he's going to win. Those more liberal Republicans are going to push towards going towards Biden. Okay, if he pardons him. Now, if he does not, and whatever president comes in is going to pardon him, I don't think that Trump is going to go to jail, and I don't think that's fair. Okay, I don't think it's fair for people to be able to do whatever they want to on top of the legal system, knowing that it's wrong, and then at the end of the day, they have no repercussions. I went to jail when I was pregnant, okay, for a fix-it ticket on a truck I did not even have anymore. They handcuffed me. I was at work, okay, driving from one site to another. They took me to jail, okay, for a fix-it ticket. I did not steal an election. I did not lie to millions of people and have them thinking that I am in the right. I didn't do any of that, and I got arrested. I think that most definitely they should damn near shackle his ankles and drag him in there, okay? That's not fair. And what it's telling me is that white men with money are over the law, and that's not right. If I gotta abide by it, so do you. Shoot. And you gonna be in there getting cornrows, and Big Bubba gonna be tearing that ass up. But that's not for me. Okay, so I want to go ahead and jump into the auto industry is now striking. They're now in their second day of the strike. This is basically saying that the auto industry that is now striking are the people who actually make the materials to make the car. Okay, so if they don't have the materials, then those cars cannot be made. Okay, so then the trickle effect of that is now the products that they have is now a commodity, and they need to be able to make more money off of them. So that means who's going to get the cost? The consumer. That means that when they run out of cars, that the used cars are now going to become more expensive. Okay, and then there's not going to be a high amount of inventory, so now your credit score is going to need to be better. That means that you're going to need to bring more to the table for a down payment. That means that you're not going to probably walk out with the car that you want, and you're going to have to settle out with a different one. Let's go ahead and go into the clip, and then we'll discuss after.
Hours since an historic strike began, UAW workers from Detroit's big three automakers now striking. Their union president says they'll be back at the bargaining table tomorrow. But the big question tonight, will all sides find middle ground? ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
United Auto workers taking to the streets in downtown Detroit Friday night.
It feels good that we're actually out here standing up for what we deserve.
Making their message to the top three automakers loud and clear.
I just started a month ago and I'm making like $16 an hour and it's beating me up. So I can't imagine what these people have been working 25 years.
Nearly 13,000 workers at 3 locations in the Midwest walking off the job, striking against Ford, GM, and Chrysler owner Stellantis.
This is what happens when corporations don't take care of the people.
No deal reached between the union and the 3 companies despite weeks of negotiations.
No one wants to strike, but I respect workers' right to use their options under the collective bargaining system, and I understand the workers' frustration.
Ford and GM offering a 20% wage increase, but the union asking for a 40% pay increase over the next 4 years.
Okay, so I also want to add that if you already have a car and you are looking for a part because your car is broken down or is having an issue, that part is now going to be more expensive. So just think about what is happening, and then for these large corporations to tell them, we gave you a generous amount moving forward, and they basically what they did was raise their pay by $1.50 and gave them some more off days. That is not helping. And rich people should not be telling poor people that they gave them a reasonable amount when you make so much money in comparison. So I stand with the union. Stand on it, okay? But at one point, you know what I'm saying, somebody going to have to come over here and give me a car. Okay, so let's talk about it because I can't ride a bus. I just want to also add that they are saying that the reason why Trump that's now getting these additional charges is because he was behind pushing this agenda of Biden being impeached and Hunter Biden being indicted. So you guys watch over that. Let's go ahead and go into this week. I hope you guys get a win. If you see somebody out there grinding, let them know you see them shining. I love you, and I will see you next week, Saturday at 10 a.m. on the Chisholm Report. Kristie J, High 702.5 FM.
If I was president, yeah. Instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money